Hi, this is Cliff with Yamhill County Chimney, and we're making a video on the tuck pointing procedure. Tuck pointing is the removal of bad mortar joints and putting in new mortar joints. And we're using a special kind of blade today. This is a diamond blade. It's made by Bosch. And what this is it's a stacked blade. There's two thin blades that are put together, and this helps to remove joints that are still hard but have lost their bond to the brick above it and the brick below it. This blade minimizes resistance, and you'll see it in action here in short order. I also have a dust collecting system on the grinder itself. This hooks up to a shop vac and captures about 90% of the dust, so you don't make a mess on the roof and all over people's cars and get the neighbors angry, etc. Okay, when you go to tuck point your chimney, you want to brush all the moss off first and pull out any loose mortar. There's some loose mortar joints. You can use a tuck pointing chisel. Has a 30-degree beveled angle on it, and a hammer or a pick hammer. Get as many joints that will come out easily out first. It's always nice to go down to Harbor Freight or somewhere and get a mover's blanket and lay it down onto the roof, so it'll catch most of the debris. You don't want to be working in the work area and stepping on mortar, chunks of mortar, and grinding it into your roof. This is a new roof on this job, so you know I've been doing this for years, so I'm careful about stepping on chunks of mortar, but just be mindful you don't want to grind anything into the roof. I would be using a pick hammer to do this, but I left it on another job. If you're not skilled with a pick hammer, the problem with using a pick hammer is if you miss, you're going to take out a chunk of brick. So, if you're not in the trade and you're kind of doing it yourself, you're better off with a tuck point chisel and a brick hammer. Just kind of take your time and be careful. You don't want to chip the brick. And I'm just prepping the loose joints out so I don't have to fight them with the grinder when I go to grind the rest of it. When you come down to the metal flashing here, this flashing is what keeps rain from running down the chimney into the house, into the attic. You want to be really careful so that you don't hit the flashing. And you got to kind of treat it with some TLC. This crown up here is still in good shape, so we're going to do a process called Yamhill. We're going to apply Yamhill. It's a flexible coating to waterproof the crown and preserve it. Get a wire brush with a scraper on the end of it. That helps. Just be kind of gentle with the scraper on the brick so you don't put scratch marks in the brick. And just get all the moss off. We're going to be, at the end of this project, we're going to be applying siloxane waterproofing to the chimney 30 days after the mortar cures. Siloxane allows moisture to breathe out of the masonry structure, but it will not allow moisture to penetrate in. I've been using it for about 25 years. I spill it on the driveway, and 15 years later I've still got a waterproof driveway, so good stuff. Just work your way all the way around the chimney and get all the moss off and all the loose mortar. And when you're done, I recommend you keep a shop vac. I use the Rigid brand from Home Depot. It's got thousands of hours on that unit. It works great. Every once in a while you knock the filter, you take the filter out and knock the sand out of it so you get your suction back. But I keep a shop vac up on the roof so I can vacuum up my debris as I go along. You know, when I get done here, I'll dump this into a little pile, sweep it up, make sure I'm not stepping on any mortar when I'm walking around the roof. And just keep it vacuumed up. Just keep a real clean site. It pays off in the long run. Okay, we're going to start grinding out the mortar joints. Gloves, grinding shield, earplugs or ear protection. Make sure you use those. Here's the grinder, dust recovery system, hose leading to the shop vac, the Bosch double blade unit. I'm going to run this and you can watch how it recovers the dust. Another thing, these are called Roman brick. These are kind of thin brick. These vertical joints get to be a challenge when you go to grind them out because you run the risk of notching the brick below and the brick above. So, you know, you run that risk on standard size brick too. So if you're going to do it yourself, practice on some brick on the back side of the chimney where nobody's going to see it. Practice doing your vertical grinding, you know, until you master your technique. I'm not going to get into technique now. I'm just going to get going on this.